Welcome, everyone. We are here with the one and only Adam Norko from Reva, and we have so many fun things to talk about today. Adam, thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's nice to be here.
So tell me a little bit about you, your background, and how you came to start working with Reva.
Yeah, so I'll share a little background and then I'll tie it into Reva and where we got started. So I've been in the vacation rental space since 2008. I live on the Outer Banks, so I started with the company out here as director of marketing. We managed about 350 homes. Then I moved over to the vendor side. I started working with Point Central as their director of sales and marketing, made my way to Breezeway, was a salesperson for them for a number of years, and then ended up as VP of sales for Inhabit across their vacation division. And most recently, I started helping some vendors that I believe in with growth. So sort of that intersection of sales and marketing. And Reva is one of those companies that I started working with. I've known the guys from Reva for years. And this was a great opportunity. And I share that background because the software that we'll look at comes from the vacation rental space. So Mike, our founder, he was an IT partner at RealJoy. RealJoy was down in Florida, managed about 1,200 homes. Mike created this software while he was at RealJoy to manage all of the challenges around reviews. And we'll touch on some of those as we get into it. Well, RealJoy was eventually sold to a private equity group and Mike was able to exit. And when he exited, he was able to bring Reva with him. So we've been selling Reva to the industry for about a year, upwards of over 100 clients on it at this point, very well battle tested at scale. I mentioned RealJoy had 1,200 units. The company that bought them is upwards of 5,000 to 10,000 units. So we are managing large quantities of reviews that have come through, but then we've also helped plenty of small managers as well. So we sort of cover the whole gamut.
Yeah, I love that. And I will share with you, I've been a user of Reva for, gosh, I'm going to say about 9 months now. I freaking love it.
It's amazing.
It is so amazing. It is so amazing to see all your reviews in one place. One of the things that I always am sharing with my students is the importance of tracking reviews and responding to every review. And Reva makes it so easy to do that.
Yeah, and I'll share maybe a couple overarching points around that because I think there's a number of benefits that Reva brings and a number of benefits that actually reviews bring. And I think that as a whole, as an industry, we've underutilized reviews for a long time for good reason, because it's very challenging. You've got these reviews spread across all these different channels and it's difficult to manage them. And we're spread thin as managers anyway, so it's hard to make the time to do that. But I do think there's a lot of value within reviews. There's a lot of value from a marketing perspective. So for guests that are coming to see and coming to visit or pick a home, it's great to see the reviews, but it's even more important to see your response so that they know you're paying attention as a manager and you're looking at the reviews and giving thoughtful responses. If you're a manager who's trying to help other homeowners, it's a very good marketing tool for homeowners to see that you're paying attention to reviews and paying attention to the guests in the homes and making sure that you're following up. But then there's an SEO component to this as well. And we have the ability, as we talk through this, that we can push reviews to the website. So now you get an SEO component as you start to bring these reviews with really good keywords onto your website. Now, if we take that a couple steps further, there's operational information that is within these reviews because you get guests who are there telling you, hey, might need some assistance or this might need to be looked at. Well, now you can take that operational information, and we've got a really great integration with Breezeway, tie it right back into Breezeway and start to post some operational tasks. A couple steps further, now you've got reporting. So if you want to think about reporting on your units and seeing how they're performing over time, very good opportunity to look at reviews and see how you're scoring. But we can also use that on your field team. So for your cleaners and inspectors, through the integration with Breezeway, we can start to give them a score based on the reviews. So we know the tasks leading up to the reviews. So we can give the field personnel some scoring around those reviews. And then the last piece I would mention is the homeowner communication. So if you're managing for homeowners, well, homeowners don't really get enough reporting. It's a bit of a gap in the industry that there's not really strong homeowner reporting. But one area we know that homeowners like is reviews. They want to know how their home is performing. Homeowners aren't necessarily looking for the property manager to tell them when to spend money or to buy a new couch. But if the reviews tell them that, then there's a really big opportunity to get them to take action. So we think about all those steps. We bring all the reviews into one place, give you a place to look at them, give you a place to respond to them, but then all those other benefits that come with it.
I love it. Well, if you're okay with it, let's dive in. I want to bring up the screen and let's just have you walk us through a quick demo.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So what we're looking at here is the dashboard. Now, I'll make a quick point at the beginning that this is overview information. Now, everybody operationally is a little bit different depending on who's actually in the system responding to reviews. So if you've got people who are working within the company that just really want to see that overview information, they don't necessarily need to see the day-to-day of the reviews, the dashboard is a good place to be. We also have the ability to send these as reports. So you could set up a daily or a weekly report that could get emailed to you, but really just looking at overview information. So I'll run through the dashboard real quick, but you've got your average rating for the year, average rating for the month, a couple of the latest reviews. If you group your properties in any way by geography or by different buildings, then you have the ability to group. The benefit for us is that you would then be able to pull reports based on those specific groupings. And then down at the bottom, you can see the different channels that we're on, as well as the scoring and the number of reviews that you've got. Now, I'll make a little bit of an underlying point here. These different channels, it did. Sorry, I wasn't sure if it scrolled, but you can see the different channels. So for a lot of those are unit-specific reviews, and there's value in pushing those to the website at the unit level. But then you can also see Google. And I'd mention that I think anyone out there who is taking this from a professional perspective should go out and get a Google business page. There's value in that from a number of different areas. One is just a signal to the market, guests and homeowners, that you're professional, you're doing the things that you say you do. The other part of that is SEO. I think there's an SEO component to having a business page and getting strong Google reviews. So we can help you build that. And the other point I'll make is you can see this Reva as the channel. Well, that's a tool that we've developed to help collect direct booking reviews. So you get people who come to your website, they have a great stay, but we're not collecting those reviews. This is a tool that will help you do that. And then it also has a secondary function where if it's a good review, you can then ask them to send a secondary message automated that will ask them to go over to the Google page and leave you a Google review. So we can kind of build those two together.
Awesome. I love it. Any
questions on that, Stacey?
I don't have questions. Now, I will say that I've used Reva for quite some time, so I have some institutional knowledge. But one of the things that I love seeing on my dashboard is my different ratings across platforms. So like Airbnb, Verbo, Google. And in fact, because of that, I actually paid some extra attention to the fact that I really need to develop a strategy for my Airbnb reviews and following up with those amazing 5-star reviews and asking them secondarily to hop on over to Google to show us some love there too. So I love that you're able to do that through Reva as well.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So the next section we're looking at is reviews. So you could think of this as your reviews database. For the people that are in the system looking at reviews and responding to reviews on a daily basis, this is where they'll spend most of their time. Now, before I get into the specifics, I'll make an overarching point. When clients start working with us during the onboarding process, we will go out to the OTAs and pull in all of the historical reviews. So all of the reviews that you've already gotten, we're going to pull into Reva. And there's a couple important points with that. So one, you now own that review data. Today, it lives on the OTAs. If you wanted to get it, copy, paste, it's really difficult. Once you pull it into Reva, you now own it. And down in the bottom right there, you can see download a CSV. You can always pull that information out of Reva whenever you want. The other important part to think about with that historical reviews is reporting. So from day one, you're going to be able to pull reports out of Reva and understand how things are performing over time, whether that's field teams or properties. We're going to have all of that information in it right when you get going so you can start pulling those reports.
Love it.
I'll start up at the top. You've got the typical filtering that you might expect: dates, ratings, the different channels, groupings if you've got those different groupings. Here's an important one. This replied yet. This gives you the ability to push up to the top anything that needs a response. And as we talked about at the beginning, I'm a big believer that you respond to every review. I think there's a number of benefits to that, but this makes that much easier. You're not hunting on every different channel to see who left a review and where it is, and then going there and making the response. You're coming into Reva, you're seeing which ones need to make a response, and you're making that response. And then the last two filters we've got there are positive and negative reviews. The system is built off of machine learning. So at this point, we've fed it millions of vacation rental reviews. So we've built in standard tags, and then the system is looking for not only those tags, but it's looking whether or not it's a positive or negative based on the context around those tags. So I'll give you an example here. Here's a good one. So what we're looking at now is your property on the left, your reservation information, the date the review was received, the rating, the channel, and then the review itself. And you can see here, green positive, red negative. Now for Airbnb and Vrbo today, but Booking and Google is coming soon, already in development. You can also respond within Reva. So not only are we bringing all of the reviews into one place, but now you can take them, review them, and go out and respond to them. So when I click on this reply link, it'll open up an opportunity for me to respond. I can do a couple different things. I could type in a response. I could use templates. But what most of our clients are doing now is using AI to generate a response. You can see here, Amanda left a response. AI is looking at Amanda and making sure we're calling her by name. It's also adding some other information here based on the review that was left. So now for the team that has to respond, rather than reading the reviews, thinking about an original response, and then having to type out that response, editing, looking at spell, all of that, we're going to eliminate all of that. Now what they have to do is come in, hit AI, look at the information, make sure it's accurate, edit as needed, and then as soon as they hit post reply, it goes out to the OTA immediately.
Yep. Love it.
Any questions with that?
No, I'm just going to encourage anybody watching to make sure that it is in your tone of voice. I think since so many people are using AI these days, it's becoming more evident when people are replying with AI. So I'm just giving a public service announcement. Make sure that you
point. So and again, this is one of the values of those historical reviews. Mm-hmm. We're also going to look at responses it's going to look at the responses that you've already made. And over time, it will look at the responses that you make, and it will try to tailor the voice towards the way that you've responded. So it will try to do that. But I completely agree with you, Stacey. This isn't a shortcut to put out bad information. It's a shortcut to be much more efficient, but you've got to go in there and you've got to take the time to have that human touch and make sure it's accurate and it's in your voice.
Yep. Love it. All right, let's keep rolling.
Next section I'll go to is operations. So I mentioned earlier, not only is there value from a marketing perspective in here, but there's also a really good operational information in here. So let's go with this broken and missing item. So maybe this is something I want to share with my operations team to take a look at or fix. With our integration with Breezeway, I can click on that Breezeway icon. We're going to fill in any information we have. We've got the unit name. We've got the review. You can edit this as needed. Clients can come in and add information that they need. They can select who they want to assign this to. This, due to the integration, it would be the team that they have already in the Breezeway system. And then once I hit add task, it automatically goes over to Breezeway and is assigned in Breezeway, just like you would have assigned it within Breezeway itself.
Awesome. That's really cool.
It cuts down on that operational flow tremendously. It's going to be able to move things from a review to an operation execution with one step rather than the multiple steps that it might take today. And the value, I think, there is not only reducing the number of steps, but because there's so many steps, there are a lot of times where things won't even happen because there's too many pieces in between. Mm-hmm. Whereas this one, let's action on this as soon as we get it.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
The only other point I'll make here is this publish column. This allows you to push reviews to your website. We have APIs with a number of websites. We also have a snippet, just a HTML code that you can put on a website. So very easy to get the reviews. We're going to do two things. We can move reviews to the unit level. So I mentioned this at the beginning. If it's a unit specific review, we can get it to the unit level. If it's a Google review, you could move those to a company page where you could have reviews specific to the company. So this publish column allows you to determine which ones go to the website and which ones do not. So you can check it to push one over. You can uncheck it to push one back. We also have an automation in the system that if it's 5 stars, it can automatically go over. Now that's a setting that each client chooses whether or not they're comfortable with that. But if you are, every 5 star that comes through, you can automatically push over to the website.
Hey, bring them on, right?
That's the way I look at it. I'll fix it after it's there if I have an issue with it, but I'd rather have it on the website.
Yep. Cool.
All right. The last section I'll go to is reports. And this is another area where we have a big opportunity with the Breezeway integration. So we have the property management system integration, we have the review integration, and then we have the Breezeway integration. So if you put all of those pieces together, we know which tasks have been assigned in Breezeway leading up to a particular review. So when we get that review, we then tie that review score back to the field teams that had the tasks leading up to that particular reservation. So as a result, you now get scoring for the cleaners and inspectors that are out there in the field. And again, gap in the industry. I was with
That's
Breezeway
huge.
Yeah, I was with Breezeway back in 2019, and we had plenty of clients that were asking us, "Hey, how can we get ratings for our cleaners and inspectors?" And it's not an easy task. So the way that we've done it is we've tied it to the reviews that are already public, pull it back in, and tie it to Breezeway, and now you have a scoring for those field teams.
Love it. That
So
is
what
really cool.
It's very cool, and I don't know of anyone else in the industry that's doing anything close to this. Now, a couple benefits, and I also mentioned that I look at this from a positive perspective. I think a lot of people look at, the scoring of, hey, who's not doing what they're supposed to. I would flip that, and I would say, let's find the people that are getting the best reviews, and let's promote them, and let's give them bonuses, and let's make sure that everyone recognizes, hey, this is the standard that we're trying to hold people to. So I don't view this as negative. I'm sure there's a component of that, but I would look at that as an opportunity to improve. Let's look at where we're falling short and improve. But I think the bigger opportunity is on the positive side.
Yep. And can you filter by time when you're going?
Sure.
Okay.
For sure. Up at the top, you can filter by units, by time, by different channels. So what we're looking at here is we got cleaners and inspector tab up here, but these would be your cleaners, either cleaning teams or individuals, doesn't matter to us. And then you've got your average rating, your number of reviews, and then your positive and negative. So if I hit analyze when I was over there, if I scroll down, now I can analyze a particular cleaner, and we're looking at all of their reviews over time and the ratings associated with it. We're looking at their overall score. We're looking at the positive and negative tags. And then we've got all the reviews that are associated with that particular cleaner.
Awesome. And I just want to clarify, the overall score is the overall rating that the guest has assigned for the stay, not specifically for the cleaning. Is that accurate?
I appreciate that clarification. I've started to clarify that when I talk with clients these days, because I think it's an important point. And really what this is more of an overarching sort of general direction. We're not looking at just specific cleaning. We're looking at, if there's a negative review, why did we get that negative review? And let's look at that and think about that with the field teams, or positive, same idea. And if a positive review comes through, they're not necessarily going to say the cleaner did a great job. They're going to say, I had a great stay, and give you 5 stars. Well, the people leading up to that stay also deserve credit for that, because they helped with that stay. So typically we are going to pull out the tags associated with it. So if it does specifically highlight cleaning, we will pull that out. But there is a more of a directional understanding with those positive and negative stays. So we don't want to limit it to just that cleaning score. We want to give an overall score, and then that's more of a directional. Let the property manager go in and dig into that a little bit more as they get some more details.
Love it. So good.
All right. So the last one I'll look at, and I'll make a little bit of an overarching point here. These are all the different reviews. Relatively new company. We are actively looking for feedback from our clients. We want to continue to improve. We want to continue to develop, but we also want to prioritize based on the feedback from our clients. So if there's general suggestions from our client base, we are eagerly taking those. And this is an area to point that out. You can see here a number of different reports. I won't go through all of them. I'll share one more quick one that I think is impactful. But if any client comes in here and they've got a report that they currently use that's not in here, or they see an opportunity to add a report, we are very actively looking for that type of feedback. The one I'll share is low rated. So this is your trouble properties. This is going to indicate which properties are getting negative reviews. You've got your properties on the left. You've got your overall number of negative reviews. And then as you scroll down, you've got all of the tags associated with those negative reviews. So if I wanted to look at, pests, for instance, let's see which properties are having an issue with pests. Well, I can scroll down and I can see all the ones associated with those pests. Now, this is really important from a directional perspective, because this is an opportunity for the property management company to figure out, where are my trouble properties and where do I want to pay attention to? Now, there is a component of this where it does maybe indicate that there should be some additional focus on operations. Maybe there's an issue with operations that we want to focus on. But the other side of that coin is that homeowners are part of this relationship as well. And this is the opportunity to share that information back with homeowners. So let me switch screens, and I want to share 2 more things with you.
And while he's doing that, one quick caveat I just want to say is he's sharing a demo account. This is not Stacey's account that you are looking at.
Correct. This is an account that we've got within the system. So what we're looking at here is at the unit level. So this is a homeowner or a unit level report. And as I mentioned, homeowners play a role in this as well. So homeowners don't necessarily want to hear that they need to spend more money or that they need to replace a couch. But if they see it through reviews, then they're more apt to take some action. So bit of a gap in the industry. There isn't great homeowner reporting. We know they care about reviews. Let's make it really easy to share this. Today, managers are out there copying and pasting and building these reports themselves, probably spending, half hour, an hour trying to build this. Click of a button, you've got a report that you can send to homeowners. So this is at the unit level. You can filter it if you wanted to get to specific reviews. You add the email and the dates, and now you can email this and send that off to a homeowner.
Awesome.
All right. So one last piece that I think is important for us. And again, I'll switch screens.
Adam, while you're pulling that up, that unit level reporting, is there a certain type of subscription that you need to have with Reva in order to unlock that unit level reporting?
No, and that's great. And I won't go to pricing while we're chatting here. But what I will say is that our pricing is very transparent. So I've spent years on the vendor side. Mike spent years on the property management side buying from vendors. So we wanted to do a couple things when we were thinking about pricing. We wanted to make it really transparent. So we have got a page on our website where you can see all the pricing and the pricing tiers. All of the tiers get the same level. So there isn't any additional payment for the tiers. The difference in tiers is based on unit count. At the end of the day, it only comes down to $1 per property once you get over 99 properties. But there's two components to that. So first, we wanted to make sure that it was an easy yes. We wanted to add more value than we were extracting from a cost perspective, which is ultimately you get down to $1 per property for everything that we're talking about here. But the other thing we wanted to do is we didn't want to lock people into long-term agreements. So 30-day notice, and we're more than happy to part ways. Our goal is that we're creating great value for you and that we form that long-term partnership. So specifically to answer our question, Stacey, all the tiers are the same, so you don't need to worry about any of that. In addition to that, all of the onboarding is included. All the integrations are included. So the pricing you see on the website is the end pricing. There's no hidden costs.
Love it.
All right. So last point here, and I know we're coming to the end, but I think there's two important components to this. So this is a tool that we would white label for all of our clients. It's just a URL on your website. So you can copy and paste this into any sort of guest communication that you're already doing. The goal here is to collect those direct bookings. So you've got these great guests coming to the website, they have a great experience, and then we don't get reviews for them. So the goal is to let's collect reviews from those direct bookings. As Stacey mentioned, this could also be used on OTAs if you did want to send them an additional review. So it's just a URL. You can send it to whoever you want. If you do get a positive review, so if it comes back 5 stars, then you can automate the system to send a secondary message. And I'll give you 2 examples our clients are doing. So one would be to drive Google reviews. You customize the message, you customize when it sends, but something to the effect of, thanks so much for your 5-star review. We'd love to have you leave us a Google review, include your Google business page and jump off to that and they can leave reviews. Now you know that it's a positive review that's going to your Google page. Yep. As I mentioned at the beginning, I am a believer in Google reviews. I think there's value there. At some point you have enough, right? And I don't know what that point is. Go to your most competitive companies and see how many they've got and make sure you get pretty close to that. But at some point you've got enough. You give them that trust signal. So the one that I really like is the second example is to drive repeat guests. So same concept, 5-star review comes in, customize the message, something to the effect of, thanks so much for your 5-star review. We'd love to welcome you back as soon as we can. Here's 20% off your next stay. Give them a link over to the website and hopefully you drive them back through the booking funnel.
Love it. I love it.
All right. Well, we love it. 20 minutes. So I appreciate the time, Stacey.
Adam, thank you so much. And we will drop a link if you are looking to check out Reva, which I highly encourage you do. Feel free to just click the link in the notes below. And Adam, thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great day.